Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Five Star Joshi Show here on the Fight Game Media Network, as well as my YouTube channel. I am Scott Edwards, and we are here for a very big episode as we are going to talk an incredible Path of Thunder show. Obviously, if you have been following on my YouTube channel, I already have a instant reaction video to Starlight Kid versus Rina from that show, but I'll be going in depth more with a full-on review of that show here today, as well as that match, because I have even more to say. We'll also be talking the upcoming events for Stardom, which include, of course, the Tam Nakano Saya Kamitani loser leaves Stardom match. We'll break all that down and talk about what that looks like, one, for Stardom itself, and two, for both wrestlers, of course. We'll talk about New Blood, which is on Saturday. We'll just talk about the whole weekend of events as a whole. And yeah, we're just gonna have a good time. We'll talk a little bit about Sendai Girls, a little bit about TJPW, a little bit about Marigold, but a lot of Stardom conversation today as they had the big shows overall. So yeah, let's sit back, relax, and do what we do here on this show. As always, I'm very excited to do this episode this week. This is one I've been looking forward to since watching Path of Thunder on Monday. One of my favorite shows of the year, a show that if you weren't fully invested into the Stardom direction post Queendom like myself, I was into it right from that Queendom show. I treated that as like, okay, here we go. And maybe you didn't even invest yourself fully in after Supreme Fight. If you don't invest yourself in after Path of Thunder, I'll be shocked, because this show was exactly what you were looking for, especially if you have the connection to the main event like I did. I just can't say enough good things about this show. So let's get to it. Let's get to our episode here today. And of course, I'll start off by a cheap plug because that's the only way I know how. We start off with my interview with Seri. My latest interview with Seri is now available over on Fightful.com. Seri talked Seriism Chapter 7. Shuri, the big match with Shuri, the tough start to her year. She gets very open about the losses to Tommy Hayashishita, Veni, and Meiko Satomura, and what her reaction was to that, why the IWGP Women's Championship is her one goal this year. She talked about Chi-Chi. She talked about teaming with Meiko Satomura. She talked about so much. It was an incredible interview, as always, from the Sun God. Just truly one of my favorites. And the fact that I continuously get to do these interviews is a true honor. So please, 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 if you haven't, go check that out over on Fightful. It is live and ready to go. Just every interview, every opportunity I have the chance to speak and bring these interviews to life, it's really incredible. She also talked about the potential of a Seriism USA sometime here in the future, named some wrestlers she'd like to have on that show. So definitely something you want to check out if you haven't already. Anyways, let's move forward now here to, like I said, Stardom. We are going to kick off here with Stardom, and of course, that being with Path of Thunder. Path of Thunder 2025 was, in fact, an incredible show, top to bottom. I mean, there's little you can say, I think, about this show besides it's a complete success. Um, and not only is it a complete success, but it is a show that if you watch it from start to finish, you have an appreciation for where this company is right now and how hot most of the things they're doing are right now. Because this show ultimately only had 3 championship matches, but even the undercard, which was mostly, for the most part, house show like matches, even the undercard delivered. So I'm very excited to dive into this here. Worth noting, this crowd had 896 in attendance, 388 more than their previous best. Shout out to my good friend Rob Goodwin, who does the Joshi Insider with me, with that incredible stat. It was ultimately a 76% increase. So truly incredible for what Stardom was able to do for this show, including the homecoming of Hanan, Rina, Hina, and Yuri Hime. So let's get to that show. And that show started off with Mayu Iwatani defeating Yuri Hime. Uh, honestly, as good of an opener as you can ask for out of a rookie, because Mayu Iwatani is the best at these matches, like consistently the best at having these matches. I think when you put her in there with a rookie, she knows what to give and what to not. And ultimately, this match was about giving Yuri Hime a hope spot. That is the build of this match because Mayu brought it to Yuri Hime. And while Yuri Hime got some offense in, it was all building to the hope spot of the big kick out in this match. Because at the end of the day, listen, Mayu Iwatani is not going to hit, the two step. She's not going to hit the moonsault. She's not going to hit the tombstone. Like, she's not going to hit one of her big time moves. She's not going to hit the super poison Rana, right? That is not what's going to happen. But what she is going to do is still use some of her more advanced, longer in the match moves to create a moment. And that is what she did for Yuri Hime, who was the hometown favorite, of course. And that moment ultimately was in fact the frog splash kickout, which was a great kickout for Yuri Hime. The crowd got into it so much. Ultimately, Mayu put Yuri Hime to sleep with the Dragon Sleeper, as she often does with the rookies. But I thought this was, again, as good of an opener as you could have asked for, truly. Um, yeah, no complaints here. Just, Mayu Iwatani is the greatest of all time, and Yuri Hime making those steps, making those proper moves. This was a good show overall, I thought, for the rookies specifically. Next up, we had God's Eyes, Lady C, Saki Kashima, Rana Yagami, and Tomoka Inaba defeating Cosmic Angel, Seriano, Natsupoi, Yuna and Aya Sakura. Continued momentum here for Lady C. Lady C getting the win over Yuna Mizumori with the big boot. So no problems there, especially heading into the Cork and Hall show on Monday. She's going to be in the Artist of Stardom title match. It's only right that she builds on that momentum. So like I said, no problems here. The win for me was that Aya Sakura didn't get pinned. So it's baby steps here, but we're trying to prop up Aya Sakura. I'm ready for her to do even more in this promotion. We then had a four-way. It was Azumi defeating Akira Kurigane, Fuki Death, and Waka Tsukiyama. By the books here, it's nice to see Azumi win. We'll talk a little bit about the Cinderella because we don't have the brackets yet or anything. We'll preview that next week. Um, right before the event happens. But the fascinating thing to me with the Cinderella this year is that based on different scenarios, and we're keeping in mind that for now, and we'll talk about this a little bit, but keeping in mind the idea that the challenger goes on to challenge Starlight Kid, right? The winner goes on to challenge Starlight Kid. Obviously, it's a wish. And rare times have that wish ever been for anything else besides the Wonder of Stardom title. And it's been that way for years in a row now. So that is the conversation at hand. Assuming that is it, Azumi feels like the shoo-in to win this tournament if we stay on that path. If we don't stay on that path, then we'll see. But good time for her to get the win. She pinned Akira Kurigane with the Zumi Sushi. I do think it was worth noting, though, however, that Akira looked good in this match. I think she continues to figure things out, continues to, grow as you want from the rookies. It's pretty simple. When you watch these rookies compete, you're not looking for them to become the greatest of all time. You're not looking for them to be super. And ultimately, at times, I think that can be kind of forgotten. Um, when people judge rookies. And for me, I think Kira Kuragane and Yuri Hime are progressing well. So that's very exciting. Again, you want to see that from the rookies here in Stardom. In the final match, before we kind of get to the main crux of it, was EXV, Meiko, Hanako, and Ryan defeating Hate, Momo Watanabe, Tekla, and Raka, as well as stars Momokogo, Hazuki, and Koguma. You know, it's interesting. I kind of forgot going into this match that there could be some storyline implications here. You look at the match, obviously, and it is a sense of okay, what move here makes the most sense? Because obviously we only have so many names, and this is the one critique I have for Stardom pay-per-views right now is the need to get everyone into all these different matches. We had 3 matches here that was mostly just extra to get them on the shows, and now they all serve their purpose. I will agree to that. Um, but they're house show matches, right? They're glorified house show matches. Everything else after this, I think, kind of captures what you're looking for. Um, However, they made sure to use this match to build to the whenever we're getting Micah and Tekla, right? We've been building this match for seemingly months at this point. It's not months, it's been maybe a month and a half, but they keep coming and going because Tekla keeps not being around all the time. I don't know why. I don't know if she's banged up still and she's kind of just doing some big shows, but Tekla is in and out a lot lately, I've noticed. So this match ultimately came down to Micah and Tekla, and Momo Watanabe accidentally once again hitting Tekla. And this is clearly leading to something, right? It has to be leading to something, because if it's not leading to something between Momo and Tekla, then why keep doing it? Like there has to be a certain point. And I think the breaking point should be the Micah Tekla match that is inevitably happening. If it's not, I'll be shocked. I'll be shocked. Um, because to me, it's the most interesting thing you can do with Momo Watanabe right now is create a story where either she's getting kicked out or Tekla's getting kicked out. Just something. I know Momo Watanabe is busy in AEW. I know she's facing Mercedes Monet at Revolution, which is awesome. It's awesome. Don't get me wrong. However, you know, sitting here and watching this, you have to wonder when. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. We can't, we're not going to continuously do this just to do it. When this isn't a group and hate that's just a bunch of dumb heels. They have the world champion. Now, we'll see on Monday. Maybe this is a group of dumb heels. But for now, they have the world champion, obviously, and they have a lot of momentum coming off of this main event as well. So I need that to continue building to something. That is my big take from this match. The match itself was fine, nothing to write home about, but that was the important aspect of this. Anyways, let's get to now kind of the main events, I guess, of this show, starting with Shuri and Kyoko Kotatsu losing to Konami and Azusa Inaba. Um, More story points here, obviously, with Konami between the other two. A lot of connections here, though. Zusanaba and Kyoko Kotatsu used to face off plenty over in GLEAT. Obviously, Konami faced Kyoko Kotatsu in Bloodsport, and Shuri, of course, feuding with Konami. So there's a lot of directions, I think, to go here. Because we're building, right? We are building to the Shuri Konami rematch that has to happen because of the way it ended at the previous Queendom show. So it feels like they're pushing us off until the next Queendom show. Why? I don't know. I think Shuri should be doing more, but it's fine. If Konami's winning it, maybe. But based on what happened at the end of this show, it sure feels like Shuri would be winning the feud at the end if we're rushing into that. Anyways, let's talk about the match itself. I thought it was very good, very enjoyable. The standout once again is Azusa Naba, who continues to be, I think, the more consistent of the two sisters, which, might be a hot take, but I think she's great, and I think both are great, admittedly. Like, I don't know if Azusa could step up into the world title match per se, like Tomoka did with Meiko last year and have such a great match. Um, but I do know that Azusa is consistent and growing. There's so many young rookies, so many young wrestlers in Joshi right now that's hard to almost keep track of who's here, who's the best, who's the best. Azusa Naba deserves credit as, one of the very best. If especially debuting the past couple of years, it's hard to I think it's hard to be better than her at this stage. Like, she is so great. She's consistent, she has her game, and she sticks to it. So I think that's something that I really appreciate, and I saw it in this match. I also saw in this match that Kyoko Kotatsu is continuing to make the strides you're looking for. If you look at Kotatsu more as a rookie, I think you do better in appreciating where she is. Because when she came in, obviously she had some name value from her time in Glee, but some people didn't know who she was when she was previously Maya Fukuda. But, I had always seen her in Glee and saw a prospect that if she gives into wrestling, she could be great. And what we are seeing here now is that potential. She's learning under Shuri, so that obviously matters. Um, and she has kind of become the centerpiece of the feud between Shuri and Konami. Uh, Ultimately, it was Konami that won with the Lancer here and made her tap out. But the point of it was that she held on. Post tap out, she held on. She was out there to injure Kyoko Kotatsu, who was already bandaged up, by the way. So I think that's very important to the continuation of this feud. Kotatsu's now, getting attacked, getting hurt. I think she's off the cards this weekend. I probably should have made double check that, but I do think she is off the cards this weekend, which obviously is a big deal. Um, selling that injury, selling that arm injury. She's obviously had some shows off um previously. Yeah, she is not on the shows this weekend. So she'll be selling that injury and we'll see kind of where this takes us next. But we do know that Konami has her eyes set on the Wonder of Stardom title, which is a bit interesting for her, obviously, because she's in the midst of this feud with Shuri. So we'll have to see what the payoff is right at the end of this. But I'm locked in and I'm excited because I think with this feud, you kind of just got to look at it differently. Yes, it's been going on for a long time. Yes, we'd like the match to get underway. But if there's anyone benefiting from it, it's the Azusas and the Kotatsus, honestly. I think getting in there and wrestling the likes of Shuri and Konami is doing a lot of good for them. So I don't mind it. And, kind of maybe creating a budding rivalry between the two that continues over from Glee. I'm with that. So yeah, no complaints here. I thought it was a good match and the continuation of their feud. Now let's get to kind of the biggest talking point from the show besides the main event. That, of course, was Tam Nakano and Sayaka Kurara versus Saya Kamitani and Natsuko Tora. Um, where to start? We could just talk about the match. We could talk about the post match. We could talk about the confusion from the post match. We could talk about the follow up from all of this. We're gonna obviously start at the beginning, but as you remember, the rule was as follows. The stipulation, I should say. Saya Kamatani said that if Tam Nakano wins this tag match, she can get whatever request she wants. Saya will listen to any request she desires. But if Saya Kamatani Natsuko Tora won this match, Sayaka Kurara had to join Hate. And right, Sayaka Kurara has been a consistent part of this feud dating back to last year. So I, the silly guy that I am, thinking, oh, we can make this a little bit more complicated with the loss. I thought, oh, have the hate team win and create a story over the next couple months to get us to Queendom where Tam Nakano is fighting to get Carrara back. I thought it made sense. It was a good way to continue this feud. Boy, oh boy, was I wrong. Was I wrong? Because in my mind, and I said this last week, oh, you could just have made the stipulation, oh, she gets the world title match. Well, I should have known that Tam Nakano is not a simple woman. She is not a simple mind. And she made a different decision, which we'll talk about here in a second, because it's obviously the biggest stipulation Stardom has had in quite some time because of what it means and where we go from there. But it's a stipulation that I'm locked into. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about that stipulation, right? Is that we can all make our comments, and you don't have to like it honestly because it's a weird one. Um, but I have to appreciate the ballsiness behind it because it means so many different things, right? Loser leave Stardom means so many different things, but we'll get to that here in a second. Let's talk about the match itself. Pretty by the books wrestling, I thought. I didn't think anything was out of the ordinary. Tam and Saya kind of got their thing down by now. Natsuko was a good addition for Saya's team, and Carrara was really the story of the match. Multiple miscues between her and Tam Nakano, including a drop kick at the end of the match, which is really the main talking point from here because I think it's where the match kind of got thrown off. It was really my bigger problem of the two. Like I don't think the stipulation's bad. I think it's fascinating and interesting because it makes me want to watch that cork and all the more. Um, but it was the end of the match for me that kind of was like, I don't know about that. So Carrara hits the drop kick on Tam on accident. And then she just kind of sits there. And yes, it's the idea of, oh my God, my fate is now in the hands of hate. And I think that is a fascinating way to go, right? Like, I think that is very interesting to think about. It's like, oh, okay, sure. That makes sense. You're a rookie, you're accepting your fate. But there was a moment, right? So Natsuko and Kamitani hit a tag team move on Nakano, and then Saya Kamitani hits the Star Crusher. Sakakura could have broken it up. Like Natsuko was holding her by like the hair. She could have went and broke it up. But she just watched, and I was like, huh? Is she turning? Is she not? Ultimately, that would not be the case. Ultimately, Saya Kamitani, after Tam Nakano survives the Star Crusher, a move that Saya Kamitani has been winning with as champion. I think it's a spinning one though, so I think that's the difference. Anyways, right? She's watching, and then Saya Kamitani says, "All right, time to make a decision." Spear Tam Nakano. She sits there, she thinks about it. Then she spears Saya Kamitani, and that's when the match shifts. Tam Nakano is able to hit the violet screwdriver and get the win. It's a fascinating way to get there. I don't know if it was executed like they wanted it to be, but it didn't matter in the end. The point was to get Tam Nakano the win and keep Carrara and Cosmic Angels, which again makes sense. My idea to put her in hate wasn't to turn her into a heel, but to kind of have her have to be there, and that will create sympathy for her. But it's fine because the direction they have gone out of my wildest dreams. Tam Nakano gets on the microphone. Everyone expects her to do a World of Stardom title match, but she instead says, "This is it between us." She pitches a loser leaves Stardom match. And not only is it a loser leaves Stardom match, it is a loser leaves Stardom match this coming week, a week from Path of Thunder at Korakuen Hall. Main event Tam Nakano versus Saya Kamitani. One more time. It is. And by the way, the crowd went to you could hear a pin drop when she pitched this idea. The reactions were great. I thought Cosmic Angel's reaction was great. Tam kind of looking at them and kind of accepting her fate, I thought was interesting. Honestly, it's a stipulation, like I said, that I'm very intrigued by because I don't know um, where it goes, but I do have some ideas. So loser leaves Stardom. Either Tam Nakano or Saya Kamitani, the reigning World of Stardom champion, will no longer be in the company after Monday. That is the gimmick. That is the stipulation. This has led many to believe that maybe this is Tam Nakano's official retirement from wrestling. I that one I just don't see. I'm going to be honest. I don't see that. Tam Nakano is not going to just give away her entire retirement run in a match in a week. I just don't see that happening. I don't see Stardom letting that happen unless there's a reason for it. Now, I don't know what the reason would be. If there's a reason to go immediately to this, then maybe. But to me, from the outside looking in, it feels like the continuation of this story and nothing more. You have Saya Kamitani presumably win that match, and that creates a way for Tam Nakano out of Stardom. Have her do a few indies or something. Do whatever you need. But it creates a story of trying to get her then back into Stardom by the time Queendom comes around to set up another world title match. That's at least the direction I think they're going. You can use the Cinderella. Maybe one of the wrestlers wins, and the wish is, I want Tam Nakano back in the company, and that leads us to whatever, which would be a shame if like Sayaka Karawa got through the Cinderella, won it, amazing moment, and she doesn't ever get a title match. I think she would have to also get a title match. Like that's my thinking is like, please also give her a title match if she had this incredible tournament run. But if they want to change things up, if they want to continue to be different, then this is a direction I wouldn't be shocked by. It's Tam Nakano. That's my best way of saying it. This is Tam Nakano. And I think that's the best way to kind of capture this idea. It feels very Tam Nakano. I don't know what follows on Monday. We'll talk about it a little bit more when we get to the preview. Um, but it's interesting. It's fascinating. It has me very locked into that show. It has me waking up on that Monday morning to watch that match. So there's that. So I applaud her for going the extra limit. But yeah, this was a fascinating direction for them to go, an exciting direction for them to go. They're going to sell out Corkin on a Monday night, not too shabby, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes from there. Yeah, but we'll preview that here in a second. But let's move on to now the big three title matches. Next up, we have the first of three championship matches here. Miyu Amasaki and Hina for the Future of Stardom Championship. As I said last week, there was a chance that Amasaki could successfully defend if the rule was not in place anymore for the champion. That being said, it made all the sense in the world to give Hina this moment, right? You have to think about it. We knew Rina wasn't going to win the title in the main event. And Hina has challenged for this title and has wanted this title. And as a comment last week in the last episode said, and I thought it was perfectly said, Hina needed this. This is a way for her to stand out, right? Great matches, great performances against future stars of the business. It's how Hanan stood out. It's how Rina stood out. And now it's a chance for Hina to stand out. I legitimately thought this match was one of the best future of Stardom title matches to date. Um, in the history of the title. Amasaki just is so good. And anyone that kind of discredits her because her move set is simple is out of their mind. Like I legitimately think that Amasaki is so good and has the ability to be truly great. And this title reign, while short, proved that. And I also think with Hina, you know, wrestling wise, she's very good, right? She obviously doesn't stand out like her two sisters, but at the same time, she's her own person. She's her own thing. And I think now that she gets this title win and had this match, it's going to make more people notice what she's all about. Her hitting her modified jackhammer for a 2 count was a great spot to then build to the super finisher. As we know in Stardom, you have a finish for a long time, and then when it comes to that title match, you're gonna need something else in the bag. And ultimately for Hina, hers was, of course, the, um I always wanna call it the, final hour, because I think that's what Leo Rush calls it. It was the split-legged moonsault, a picture perfect one of that, out of nowhere, like, when I saw her get up to the top rope, I was like, what is she gonna hit? And I thought she did it great. Like, I thought this was one of the better, split-legged did I say moonsault? I meant frog splash. The split-legged frog splash, and I thought she hit it picture perfect. Like, considering this is the first time that I know of, that I've seen of her hitting it, I thought it was pretty impressive. And it was a great way to end the reign, right? Obviously, with their Queen's Quest history, a nice passing of the torch here. Not necessarily a rivalry, but a good way for Hina to overcome Amasaki, who, of course, overcame her sister for the belt. So I think it's a fun transition for the future belt. The future belt continues to be one of the more enjoyable aspects of Stardom overall. It was nice to see this belt also back on pay-per-view. So congratulations to Hina. I'm very excited to see where she goes now as champion. I'd like to see maybe someone come up this weekend on New Blood as a potential challenger for her. And we kind of went away from the idea of Hanako for now. I wouldn't be shocked if Hanako is the one to beat Hina. But I do like Hina getting the belt here because she deserves it. And I'm excited to see how long she reigns because obviously both Hanan and Rina had some record breaking reigns when they had the belt. So wishing her the best of luck. This was a very solid match. And on most shows, like if this was on a Stardom house show or Cork, and it would be the best match of the night without a doubt. Unfortunately for them, uh, there were two top of the line match of the year contenders to follow, starting with, of course, the Goddesses of Stardom championship match, the first defense for Gori since winning the titles at Stardom Dream Kingdom 2024, defending against Crazy Star. It's been a long time since we've seen Crazy Star share the ring, and spoiler alert, they're still sensational. This match was also sensational. I I'm blown away just by how much better Joshi tag team wrestling is than the rest of tag team wrestling these days. It's not even close. Like, and this isn't just a Stardom thing, though obviously they bring it at the highest degree, right? We've seen it now with the trios match at the beginning of this month. Now this. And we saw it a lot early last year, right? They were having incredible matches, and this was another incredible match. Um, Watching Gori is a treat. It really is. We've watched them grow as a duo together. Um, Hanan and Saida just get it. And this was, of course, Saida's match return, right? This was her big true return to form. Obviously, she had the match on Saturday, but this was the return. And watching Saida, you were reminded how important she is to these shows. Watching her on Saturday in that main event, then this, she gives a jolt. She gives excitement. She gives something that I don't think really anyone else can in the promotion, which is not a shot at anyone. It is a credit to her. She brings a form of energy that is just sensational. And this is the best tag match of the year to this point because of her. Her and Sue Suzuki were amazing. Sue Suzuki, by the way, if you look at my Wrestler of the Year list, she's number 2 this year. A unbelievable start to 2025 for Sue Suzuki after I think what was a down 2024. She's just at the top of her game again, whether it was the Kamitani match or now this match. Um, She's only behind one wrestler, and that, of course, is a Stardom wrestler, which we'll talk about here in a second. And May, Sarah, and Hanan pairing off. I said it last week. I'll say it again. I've been waiting for these two to connect in a big stakes match, right? They've teased the singles. They teased the singles after this match. We don't know when we're going to get it, but we need to get it. I don't care if it's in the Cinderella. I don't care if it's partly in the Cinderella, they eliminate each other and we move on to the net. Like, I don't care when we decide, we just need it ASAP because these two have honestly, potentially all-timer chemistry. Like, these two are fantastic against one another. And they took the closing stretch. This was everything you want from tag team wrestling. This was everything you want from Joshi wrestling. May, Sarah, and Hana going at it back and forth, trading near falls, trading moments. Ida and Suzu getting involved, trying to save the match. It's just sensational. Hana won the match by hitting May Sarah with the backdrop driver. It's a match that, honestly, if I was trying to recap everything that happened, I would be here forever because so much happened and they put on a show. This match was only 17 minutes, but it's one of the best matches of 2025. It is one of the best matches of both of these teams' runs as duos. Honestly, it might be the best for Wingori. Obviously, Crazy Star, the incredible match with FWC last year. But just sensational. Sensational tag team wrestling. Everything that these belts are supposed to be about. Last year in 2024, for the first half of the year, the best part about Stardom was the tag team wrestling. 100%. And I feel like this year, well, it's going to be tough because Saya, Kamitani, Starlight Kid, they're doing amazing as champions. I think we can get there again. If we keep defending these belts, we keep putting these on the lines with Wingori running high, I'm excited. You know, everyone or myself, when they announced the Golden Week schedule, and of course Fukuoka's back in the schedule, I said, okay, so we're probably waiting until Wingori and FWC there, which is fine. That's fine. But I want to fill this lineup with more and more great matches because there is so much potential for this title reign. It can be one of the all-time great Goddesses of Stardom title reigns with this roster, with these tag teams, with this team as the unit pushing forward. It can be special, and this was an incredible start. Like I said, tag team match of the year so far, and on any other night, it's usually walking away to me with match of the year. Not match of the year. Sorry, night show of English match of the night. But tonight, this show, Path of Thunder 2025, it was a different beast altogether. It was a different animal because what we're about to talk about is the same match I talked about on Check It Out this past week, earlier this week. But I got to talk about it again because I've thought about it more and more since, and I have a appreciation for it that I can't stress enough. It is truly one of my favorite matches I've seen as a wrestling fan. It is my favorite match of the year, and that, of course, was Starlight Kid versus Rina. I get emotional again, kind of getting ready to talk about it. Obviously, if you want to listen to that kind of 20-minute instant reaction, you can. This to me is what a 5-star match is. You can bring history into it. You can bring a wrestler's career into it and bring all the emotion, bring all the excitement, bring everything that represents a wrestler and add the hometown crowd and add the fact that this is Rina's first opportunity for the Wonder of Stardom Championship. And it just ups the ante. It ups the ante. It is simply unbelievable what Rina did in this match. She is, I think, without a doubt, the best wrestler under 20 years old in professional wrestling. There's a lot of great ones, specifically in Joshi. There's a lot, but you can't watch this match and I think walk away with thinking anything about that. This is someone who has grown and grown, and the more the years have gone on, right? I've been a big Hanan fan, but I think anyone that has seen Rina and seen how she's carried herself understands that this is something she's wanted. This is something she has always wanted, and she understands who she is as a competitor, and you mix that with this just sensational pro wrestling that captures what she wants to be as a world championship level competitor and captures what Starlight Kid wants to be as a champion, and of course captures the incredible, beautiful, amazing aspect of this match that was, of course, Hana Kimura and her connection with Rina, and you just get something truly, truly special. I think the best way to describe this match is that if you knew the history, this is top of the line, all time wrestling, all time stardom type for you. If you didn't know the story, this is just a fantastic match either way. It's a fantastic title match where a young competitor steps into her first match and delivers. That is the difference for me. Either way, you're walking away with one of the best matches of the year. I said at the time when I reviewed it instantly, I was like, maybe it would have been perfect if Rina won. And then I thought about it. I've been thinking about this match all week because of how great it was. And I think I was wrong with that. I think it was perfect because she came up short, right? Um, there's something to the chase in wrestling that is so beautiful, so amazing. And I think oddly enough, we are going to now experience a chase to her eventual title win for Rina that is what unique because she's a heel. At the end of the day, Rina is a heel and always should be a heel, by the way, because she's so good at it. There will be a day she turns babyface, but not anytime soon because she just gets it. She is, I said this, and I'll say it again, she is the best heel in this company in terms of, what you are looking for from a heel. She's just fantastic. And I think as time goes on, um, it's almost scary how great she's going to further become. Because again, this is 18 years old, first big title match, hometown. That's all the pressure you could ask for. And she went out there and delivered what I think is a classic, what I think is a Wonder of Stardom Championship match classic, what I think is an all-time Stardom classic, what I think is going to be one of the truly favorite matches that I've seen as a fan of Hana, as a fan of Rina, as a fan of Starlight Kid, as a fan of Joshi, as a fan of Stardom. And, seeing after this show that Kyoko Kimura was in attendance for this show, oh, it damn near broke me. Rina and Starlight Kid, they set out to do something special in this match, and they did that. I don't want to this isn't just about Rina, it's just incredible what Rina accomplished. You have to also give such respect to Starlight Kid because Starlight Kid is on another level right now. When she turned babyface last year, a switch flipped back to the babyface that we all knew she was and could be. I didn't like when she turned heel long, long ago. And, she figured it out and I thought made it very interesting, exciting. But the money was always on her going back to being a baby face. And as we've seen over the past year now, that couldn't have been there couldn't have been a better decision than that in the early days of this regime led by Taro Okada. Because now she's on another level. Now she's on best in the world level. She betters everyone she's in the ring with. Her match with Natsupoi was spectacular because of who? Really because of her. Her match with Rina here was spectacular because of who? She's the one leading the match. It's because of her. They played to the points that you wanted to see them play to, but they also delivered an all-timer. In every which way. This match is something that I'll carry on forever. A genuine 5 stars from me. And my favorite match this year, and it's gonna take a lot to top it. I don't really know what can top it right now, um, just because of how special it was in the moment and how special it's been days removed. Um, but if you're not excited for Stardom right now, I think you're really missing out because I think we're in the midst of something really special, and there's a lot of momentum behind what they've created. And with shows like this, with matches like this, with a performance like this by someone like Rina, the sky is the limit. This promotion is on fire, and I'm so excited to see what's next, right? That's part of this. It's, oh, okay, that was amazing. Now what's next? What's next for Rina? That's what I'm most locked into. Rina's one of the best wrestlers, period, right now in this company. And it's been that way for a long time. She's carried the New Blood brand. She's carried the Future brand. She's carried everything. Now she's stepped into that new league as a Wonder Champion. Don't slow her down. Keep her going. And Starlight Kid, my God, I am so excited for your title reign. I called you on my predictions, the MVP of Stardom in 2025. Right now, if you go onto my sheet, you're going to look at Wrestler of the Year. Who is number one? That is Starlight Kid. Starlight Kid is my number one wrestler of the year. Men's, women's, doesn't matter. She is number one. It's going to be tough to beat her. Now, she's getting a real challenge after this match. Konami did show up in her presser, post-match presser. It looks like that's the direction here. I'd probably do that in the Cinderella final. That makes a lot of sense. It's a fascinating one because, I don't think Konami has been Konami for much of her run since since re-signing with the company. But a big title match against Starlight Kid. Starlight Kid's someone I just fully believe in, so I'm fascinated to see what that title match looks like. But yeah, Stardom's on fire. I couldn't be enjoyed. This is the most I've enjoyed Stardom probably since 2022. Honestly, um, it's incredible. It's incredible what they're doing right now. And this show was so good. This main event was all timer. The tag match was so great. Everything was so great. And I'm just so excited for what's next. So let's get to what next. 47 minutes into the show. Had to talk about Rina and Starlight Kid for another 10 minutes. There was just never enough when it comes to that match. Just truly, truly special to me as a fan. As you can see, check it out over on the YouTube channel. You can check it out now. If you're listening to this on MP3, if you haven't, go see it. I have 20 plus minutes of instant reaction to that match and how much I loved it. So well worth your time. Um, but let's talk about New Blood, shall we? New Blood's an exciting card. This is probably the most exciting New Blood card in a long time. So we're doing a one night New Blood Tag Championship Next Challenger tournament, which I think is exciting. I think the winner is kind of clear, but we also have, as you can see here, Sayaka Carrara going one-on-one with Miku Kane. That's an exciting match. I think Miku is awesome. I think everyone's kind of agreed she's awesome. Obviously, she has a big match with Natsupoi coming up at Sauriism. But her and Carrara, two of the exciting rookies on the scene. That's the type of match you want to see on these New Blood cards. So I'm looking forward to that one. But this tag match, this is what it's all about. You have Seedlings, Hinori Hana, and Maria Kuga going against Rina and Ruaka. This is awesome. Maria Kuga, if you haven't seen her, she's a up-and-coming rookie as well. Very exciting. Hinori Hana just returned to pro wrestling. She's been really good since returning, and obviously Rina and Ruaka are awesome. So no problems there. And like I said, we have the one-night tournament. So on one side, it'll be Rian and Kara Ioniyama teaming to face Aya Sakura and Yuna Mizumori. And on the other side, it's Akira Kuragane and Yuri Hime facing Hina and Arana Iagami. I think Kara Ioniyama and Rian will beat Aya Sakura and Yuna Mizumori, and they'll also beat whoever they face, which is likely to be Hina and Rana since they're facing the double rookie team. But that should be a fun little mini night tournament. I'm excited to see what Rian and Kaori look like as a duo. And then the main event will be a New Blood tag team title match as Hanako and Waka Tsukiyama will defend their championships against Nanami and Himiko of Diana. Obviously, a successful defense, but we'll know who they're facing next. And Kaori and Rian could be a very interesting test for Hanako and Waka after the fact. Also this weekend, on the 2nd at Cork and Hall, Saya Kamitani returns to Pro Wrestling Wave to defend the Regina de Wave Championship against Yumi Oka. A big time match, considering one day later she could be leaving Stardom, in all seriousness. So I just wanted to point that out for everyone here. There's also a show on that day as well, for Stardom. There's no graphics up for it yet as of this recording. So they are in Chiba though. So here is your card. Oh, there's graphics now, of course. But the CMLL crew are joining the show, which is very cool. So Yuvia and Tabata, they're over for Fantastica Mania. They are taking part in the Lucha show that is airing on Wrestle Universe. May Sarah's involved. Maybe we'll get a little review in next week. But here's your show for Sunday in Chiba. My apologies. Hina and Lady C and Rana Yagami, they team up to take on Tam Nakano, Yuna Mizumori, and Aya Sakura. Hazuki Koguma and Momokogo, they'll face Shuri, Saki Kashima, and Akira Kuragane. Azumi teams with the CML duo to face Waka Tsukiyama, Hanako, and Rian. Then you'll have Maika team up with Yuri Hime against Momo Watanabe and Rina. Mayu Itani, Hana, and Saida face Natsupoi Soriano and Sayaka Kara. That should be a very good one. And then the main event, we start the previews towards Starlight Kid and Konami. It'll be Starlight Kid, Suzuki, and Miyu Amasaki facing Konami, Natsuko Tora, and Ruaka. And then on, of course, the next day at Korakuen Hall, the big match here, or the big show here, features 3 championship matches. So presumably your first match of the night will be the high-speed championship match, the second defense for May Sarah, since the rules have changed to the round version, right? The 3-round, 10-minute time limit. So we'll see how it looks when Fuki Gendat and May Sarah face off. I'm guessing May Sarah will successfully defend the title here. We also have Hanako team with Yuri Hime. They'll face Aya Sakura and Akira Kuragane. Suzuki teams with the CML duo of Yuvia and Tabata to face Suzuki, Koguma, and Momokogo. So looking forward to that one. Natsupoi, Soriano, Yuna Mizumori, and Sayaka Kara. They'll face Konami, Ruaka, Rina, and Azusa Naba. Shuri, Saki Kashima, and Hina face Mayu Utani, Hana, and Saida. Meiko, Waka Tsukiyama, and Rian face Natsuko Tora, Momo Watanabe, and Tekla. So Tekla back to continue the feud between her and Meiko. Kind of hoping we get Cinderella bracket on here somewhere, or participants or something, but I'm guessing they're just going to save it for a press conference sometime next week. And then in the semi-main event, the Artists of Stardom Championships will be on the line as Azumi and Starlight Kid and Miyu Amasaki defend against Lady C, Tomoka Inaba, and Rana Yagami. Very excited to see what level the Dio Genesis team can bring the God's Eye trio. Obviously, they're asking for a lot. I think Inaba fits well, and I'd like to see Inaba kind of, get in there with Starlight Kid. Obviously, they've teased a Wonder Storm title match. Seems like a direction that we are going. It's just a matter of when, not if. It feels like. But this story has mostly been between the former Queen's Quest members, Azumi and Lady C, because Lady C pinned Azumi to get to the opportunity. She's now has Inaba and Rana by her side. Obviously, Neo Genesis is going to win here. Having them lose already would be a real shame, I think. But I am looking forward to that matchup. And then your main event. Arguably the biggest main event of the year for Stardom. Certainly Cork in main event. I thought the world title match wouldn't be topped, but I was wrong. We'll see what the aftermath is, obviously, but for now, we are going to take it from it for its word, and that is, of course, Tam Nakano going one-on-one with Saya Kamitani, a rematch from Stardom Dream Queendom, but it's not for the World of Stardom Championship. No. It is a loser leaves Stardom match. I don't see a world where Saya Kamitani is losing because she still is going to have the title. There's a lot of methods. I think there's a lot of ideas that have popped into people's brains into what this could mean. Is Tam retiring? Is Saya Kamitani going to Marigold? Is and Tam's played to that obviously, with her comments with Tokyo Sports, is Tam just leaving. You know, those are the main ones, and mine is that Tam. My thought process here is Tam has thought up unique unique story for this feud with Saya Kamitani. And Saya Kamitani has been focused on taking everything away from Tam. Obviously, she failed to take Carrara away, but could she take Tam out of Stardom completely? Possibly. Feels like it. And listen, I am willing to eat it if this ends up just being a Tam Nakano retirement, but it just doesn't feel right unless something has happened and she needs to do that, which I hope is not the case whatsoever. Um, I think this is part of the story, and it's an interesting wrinkle to the story itself. It's an interesting wrinkle. It's one that I will be waking up for this match because I think this is a match worth waking up for. The stipulation's too big to see the aftermath of whoever of these two leave is well worth it. Who leaves? Saya, Tam. What's the aftermath if one of them do leave? Where do we go from here if one of them do leave? That's really the question at hand. And I think that's the beauty of this match is, no one knows for sure, right? That's why everyone's throwing these ideas out. Originally, there was so much confusion after the match. People thought, oh, it's loser leaves faction, which, would have worked. Oh, it's, this and that. Everyone was kind of throwing these things out there, and it's loser leaves Stardom. There's a lot of history here. There's a lot of drama here. There's a lot of Tam here. Um, but I'm fascinated to see how it goes. And right now, I'm picking Saya Kamitani to win, Tam Nakano to leave Stardom, and from there, we'll see what that means. But she's got matches scheduled in the future, and that's why I'm not treating this as a retirement. It's loser leaves Stardom. It's not loser's career ends. I don't think that's fair. So we'll see what they have up their sleeve. We'll see what goes from here. I'm excited to review this next week. It's going to be fascinating. That's for sure. Now, with Stardom done, we head over to TJPW to drop in ahead of Grand Princess. They've announced the full card this week, but this past weekend they held a exciting preview tag between the champions and challengers. On one side, it was Maki Ito, Miyu Yamashita, Suzume, and Mizuki, defeating Arisu Endo, Hyper Masao, Shoko Nakajima, and Rika Tatsumi. I just like to point this out because I thought it was quite a good match and a good way to get you excited for Grand Princess. Grand Princess legitimately is looking like their best card possibly ever. Like, it is a great show. It is a great lineup. One of the more impressive lineups they put together, I think. And it's a sign of just the Joshi scene as a whole. Being super exciting, but this match was a good preview. Miyu Yamashita pinned Shoko Nakajima to win the preview tag. I think it's very apparent that Hyper Masao and Shoko Nakajima are going to be the duo to beat Ito and Yamashita when the time comes. But yeah, I think this is worth checking out if you kind of want to get an idea of what these matchups look like. I'm very excited for all three of these title matches. But let's get a little bit more into what they have coming up here. So this weekend, they're running a double header on Saturday, including Go Girl 5, with an exciting main event of Mizuki and Suzume. They'll team up to face Toga and Maki Ito. Miyu Yamashita will also go one-on-one with Haru Kazushiro. You can see the whole card here on the left if you're watching on YouTube. And then they will do the night before Grand Princess show on the right, which will feature Hyper Masao's 10th anniversary match, which will be Rika Tatsumi, Yuki Aino, Hyper Masao versus Haruna Neko, Mihiru Kiryu, and Araku. So very comedic match coming your way there. And then the big announcement during their show on Saturday was that Meiko Satomura will make her final appearance in TJPW just 13 days before her retirement match. She will team up with, or not team up, she will go one-on-one with Yuki Arai. Yuki Arai getting the big opportunity in Meiko's final TJPW match to face her one-on-one. Obviously, Meiko has been booked in a number of big matches over the past couple months as her retirement draws closer and closer. And Yuki Rai is the favorite, I'd say, to end the year as Princess of Princess champion. So giving her this big opportunity against Meiko Satomura is a massive one. And I'm hoping that Yuki shines in this match because this opportunity does not just happen. Meiko Satomura, obviously the legend that she is, will be her toughest challenge ever in her career. So this is a fascinating one, and I'm really looking forward to it. We'll talk about the full card when we preview it here in a few weeks' time. The show is on the 16th of March. Next up, I did want to do a quick review of Meiko Satomura versus Unagi Sayaka. Samurai TV aired that match this week, and I thought it was great. Packed, sold out crowd, right, for the one match show at Korakuen Hall. A thank you in many ways from Unagi to Meiko, and a one, just a one of a kind type situation. And honestly, I walked away from this match thinking it was Unagi Sayaka's best match in quite some time. One of the best performances alone of her career, and just a home run of a showing, I thought, overall. She should be very proud of her performance. There were some fun parts. You saw Risa Nakajima in the crowd, Natsuki Tayo. Risa Nakajima even hit Meiko. You saw Chikayo Nagashima in the crowd. Just so many great little tidbits before getting into the ring and really bringing it. Unagi brought it. Like, legitimately, this was the Unagi I feel like I always confidently knew was in there. And I've had my ups and downs with Unagi, admittedly, but she was always someone when she was in Stardom that I saw as being great. And while she never got there and she was fired from the company and so on, this match really showed what Unagi can be. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. Ultimately, not a big shock. Meiko Satomura won in the end with Scorpion Rising. But yeah, a match that if you can get your hands on it, go watch it because I thought it was very, very good. Legitimately great, actually. So yeah, check that out. And then on Saturday and Sunday, Sendai Girls is back. Big doubleheader over the weekend, including some amazing matches that I can't wait to watch and review next week. First up, at the Sendai Pit on Saturday, their big return to action. You'll get Soy versus Miyuki Takase. You'll get Zones versus Shin Sakura Hirota. You'll get Yura Suzuki and Ryo Mizunami against Yurika Oka and Hiroyo Matsumoto. Then in a big singles match, as Maria continues to fill in for Miyamoto's dates, presumably, Maria will go one-on-one with Dash Chisako. Very exciting match there. And of course, the match that we knew about a couple weeks ago when Yuna stepped up. It'll be Sari returning to action. She'll team with Chi-Chi to face Mika Iwata and Yuna. Assuming Sari and Chi-Chi get the win here, that could set up for their eventual tag title match, assuming Red Energy successfully defend against Maika and Hanako. And then in your main event, which is a supreme main event, all the matches this weekend probably going to be the best match if I had to guess. I don't know. It's insane. You're gonna have Maika and Natsupoi. They'll team up to face Chihiro Hashimoto and Minami. Just insane. I'm so excited for that. I am so excited. And then the next day, you'll have another 5-card show. This time will be Soy versus Yuna. Chi-Chi and Veni teaming back up. They'll face Mizuki Kato and Hiroyo Matsumoto. Maria goes back into singles action. She'll go one-on-one with Minami. Dash Chisako teams with Yura Suzuki. She'll face Red Energies, Mika Wada and Miyuki Takase. And then your main event, Meiko Satomura and Aja Kong potentially across the ring for the final time. We don't know for sure, but every time they get back across the ring from each other, we got to appreciate it all the more. Aja Kong leads the team of herself, Zones, and Chihiro Hashimoto against Meiko Satomura, Ryo Mizunami, and Yurika Oka. I'm very excited for that one. Yeah, time's a ticking. We've reached March almost, right? By the time you're maybe hearing this recording, it's already March. So it's Meiko's retirement month, isn't it? Oh, wait, no. I have been wrong this entire time. It's April. It's April 29th. Oh, whew. I've been thinking it was March 29th. My apologies. No, it is April 29th. So that Yuki Rai match may not be her last TJPW one. But yeah, I got my months confused. Okay, we got more time with Meiko because I should have known next month's Yogi, it's April 29th. So, but this still could be the last time between Aja Kong and Meiko Satomura. So enjoy it, appreciate it. These will both be on Wrestling Universe after a couple days, I'm sure. So definitely worth checking out. Next up, I just wanted to quickly hit one of the Marigold shows from this past week because Seri Yamaoka got her first singles match since her debut. She went one-on-one with Seto. I'm not going to review the whole show. We've been going for over an hour now here, and it was just it was a house show in Osaka. But this match stood out to me the most. I actually thought it was the best match on the show. You're watching two young up-and-comers figure out a match together and learn together. Rhea Seto, I was hoping after that Nanae Takahashi match, she'd take from it and learn from it and grow from it, and that's exactly what she's doing. There was no doubt in my mind watching this match that there was growth here for Rhea Seto. She has potential. She has a potentially high ceiling. You know, if she can keep figuring things out, I think Rhea Seto is someone that's exciting. And then Suri Yamaoka. I mean, I continuously praise her because I do think she's great, and I thought she had a great showing here. She won with the Aoki clutch. Um, Unfortunately, they did announce that the next day after this match that she suffered a mild concussion, so she'll be out for some time. So I'm wishing her the best in her recovery. Obviously, concussions are scary, so nothing to nothing to mess around with. So I'm wishing her the absolute best, and hopefully she can come back sooner rather than later, but not until she's ready to go. She's done some other things already, so it's good to see that she's almost back and ready to go as well. But yeah, this match was quite good. I think it's the one worth checking out post that Cork and Hall show. If you're looking for some growth from some of the competitors. Marigold also held a show on Thursday that's not up yet, so I'll just quickly go through the results. And it includes some challenge matches. Miku Ano defeated Ryoko Sakamura. Mai Sakurai defeated Yuki Minami. And then there was also the double matches. So Natsumi Shizuki defeated Riara and then went on to then defeat she went on to defeat Rhea Seto. So those are the important parts. Also, we are officially on the road to retirement, the passion retirement road of Nanae Takahashi, which we'll talk about here in a second. But also the main event of the show saw the babyface team of Utami Hayashishita, Victoria Yuzuki, Mirai, Nao Ishikawa, and Chika Goto lose to Darkness Revolution. Ishikawa was then taken away after the match, so that's something. Obviously, I haven't seen the match yet, so fascinated to see what this looks like. Fascinated to see what that means. But that was the show from Thursday, and then just some highlights upcoming here over the weekend. On Saturday, you'll get a big time singles match that I'm excited about between Victoria Yuzuki and Rhea Seto. Now Ishikawa still goes one on one with Riara. Yuki Minami goes one on one with Ryoko Sakamura. And then Nanae Takahashi versus Chika Goto. The passion countdown begins. She'll go one-on-one. This is a big match for Chika Goto. This is the beginning of the end, unfortunately, for Nanae Takahashi's career. So the passion countdown is on. I'm going to expect a lot of singles matches over the next couple months. And then in your main event, which should be a great main event, Tamiya Shishida, Mirai, and Natsumi Shizuki, they team up to face Bozilla, Misa Matsui, and Nagisa Ozaki. The next day, over the weekend, we'll have the 5-match card, I believe. So you will have Rhea Seto versus Ryoko Sakamura. You'll have Megaton, Nao Ishikawa, and Riara in 3-way action. Then you'll have Miku Ano, Chika Goto versus Mirai and Yuki Minami. After that, as you see on your screen, it'll be Natsumi Shizuki and Mai Sakurai teaming up. They'll face the Darkness Revolution duo of Nagisa Nozaki and Misa Matsui. I'm very interested to see what they look like as a duo, since this will be the first time for them to team up. After that, you'll have Utami Hayashishita and Victoria Yuzuki facing Bozilla and Chiaki. That will be a big time main event, obviously, because, this is a preview for the world title match at the end of March. So looking forward to that one as well. But with that being said, that is it for the 5-Star Joshi Show this week. Like I said at the beginning, if you haven't, check out my interview with Seri. She talked about Seriism, Shuri, the tough start to the year, IWGP Women's Title, Chi-Chi, and so much more. You can also check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/@ScottEatWrestling. Each and every episode is posted there, as well as the Fight Game Media Network feed. I also have Check It Out, a series that kind of dives into a singular match from history or instant reactions, as I did this week with Starlight Kid and Rina. It's a fun series that I do every week, or I'm trying to at least. There's an interview over there with Hyan, if you'd like to hear about her time in Japan and in Marvelous, and kind of learn about the Marvelous dojo and everything like that. I think that was a really great interview, and so much more. I have so much more in store content wise. So please, if you continue to support me, thank you so much. If you're new to supporting me, thank you so much. And I appreciate every bit of it. So this was the 5-Star Joshi Show. We'll be back next week to review a very newsworthy Stardom weekend that, of course, concludes with Tam Nakano versus Saya Kamitani. Loser leaves Stardom match and what that looks like from there and all the aftermath. We'll also be back to talk that Marigold shows, the Sendai Girls shows, and preview. Let me see what we have next weekend. Let's see. I know March is pretty busy, so we'll be previewing the Cinderella tournament. Duh. We'll see how that goes. Obviously, there's no bracket. But that's the plan, is to preview and give our official predictions for that this year, and we'll see how we do, because I never really do all that great. We'll also preview Marigold Shinjuku Face Show on the 11th and anything else that pops up. Oh, and the 9th will be the Oz Academy show, so we'll give a preview of that as well. So yeah, lots coming up here, lots of excitement in the world of Joshi. It's the world of Joshi's year, folks. Everything else in wrestling is second to what Joshi is doing. So if you enjoy Joshi, if you enjoy Stardom, if you enjoy Marigold, if you enjoy TJPW, if you enjoy anything Joshi, this is the place to be. This is the Joshi podcast that covers it all. So thank you so much for listening. And until next time, everybody, so long. See you later. Bye-bye.